Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Tori Grace, and this is another episode of Woman Crush Wednesdays. And y'all know we like to do stuff on the mood whenever it hits you. Kind of walking. Another one of those days. I'm out and about. Didn't do this one live, but we gonna still deliver it to you regardless. So today, the current climate in the world. It is not a beautiful thing right now at this particular moment. Removing all political aspects aside, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent, at this particular point in time in the world, as a black woman, I can say I do not feel safe. Recent events in Nigeria, as well as the police brutality that's going on in the United States and across the world, you're seeing protests against police and the brutality that's going on. And me being a single mama of two boys, it's kind of scary. Kids as young as 12 have had incidents and run-ins with the police, whether it be playing outside and shot and killed, or the little girl that was handcuffed at lunch. And I don't even know what the reason was for that particular incident, but she, school resource officer, just kind of throwing her like she's not a child and treating her like a criminal for something that didn't even make sense. But it's scary. Every day you turn on the news, you see somebody, unarmed African American male, now going unarmed African American woman and or child, has had some kind of incident with the police. And it hasn't gotten any better. And it's not getting any better. Typically don't see our Army, our Navy, our Marine Corps pulling up on people and doing these things. It's always only our police force. Whether it be in a large city, small town, doesn't really matter where it's happening and it's happening everywhere. Black neighborhoods, white neighborhoods, it's happening all over. Excuse me. And me having a teenage son at this particular point in my life, I'm terrified. Do not let my children go anywhere without me. I don't even let them ride the bike in the neighborhood without having a tracker on them, so that I know what's going on. I've made friends with neighbors throughout the neighborhood so that they're positive they know who I am and know who my kid is, because you can't keep them inside forever. But as a parent, it's kind of like, where do we let them go? How do they go out? How do they do things that most children do that are not of my skin complexion or their skin complexion? How do they do things that are safe? How do they go out, ride their bike without an issue, without somebody thinking that it's somebody riding through a neighborhood that they're not supposed to be in, or questioned by the police? And people are like, oh no, it happens to everybody. It happens to everybody. Well, start to report it. I don't see nearly as many Caucasian males, children, women, pulled over and having issues with them, ticketed for no reason. Even myself, driving through the neighborhood, minding my own business, coming down the hill, and I'm asked, why do you think I stopped you? I have no idea. I'm hands-free, not driving over the speed limit, chilling. I'm pulling you over because of your window tint. My window tint? Why am I being pulled over for window tint when my car is definitely within regulations? So I have to go to court to defend myself, only to find out there's nothing wrong with my window tint. It's things like this. You're walking and somebody feels you don't belong because for whatever reason, African Americans, whether they're light skin, dark skin, brown skin, cocoa, you guys know we come in a variety of shades. You don't belong here. Well, where do we belong? How do we belong? We come up with our own things. We have Black Lives Matter. We have our own clothing lines. We have our own television networks. We go and create when we are not accepted. And it's still an issue. And now it's racist. I posted something on my LinkedIn the other day. I believe it was one of the local hospitals was proud of an African American female doctor for doing something for the first time, not only as a doctor, but also as the first African American in this town's little history. So it was like a big to-do. So of course, I shared it. And the second I share it, a Caucasian male comes on my page and says, "Ugh, look at you making everything racist." So, LinkedIn, professional type setting, professional situation. You can't really go off on people because your coworkers and stuff are on there. So you politely tell him, this is the first time it's ever been done, period, point blank. And due to the fact that there are limited doctors that are of my color, I think this is okay. Only to be met with, oh, no. You people make everything racist. And I really do wonder how many times he sat down with you people to sit down to understand why every single solitary celebration that we have is big. It's loud. And the reason for it being big and loud is because we've been told no for so long. You see the advancements of people. You see the advancements of other ethnicities. You see them celebrating their culture and their history. We've been unable to do that. We're not able to always pick. We're called African American. Well, we're not from Africa, except by way of our lineage, which is so far lost for us that we don't even know what tribes we've come from. So in the current climate, and you're told, well, you can't celebrate Black power. That's racist. How? How is it racist that I am celebrating the fact that my skin is melanated and it is beautiful? And I have been told for years on end that I am not beautiful, that my hair is too curly, too kinky, too coily, too nappy. The fact that Chris Rock had to come out and make a whole mini movie about what is good hair. I remember changing my hair from the relaxer. Yeah, I had one, believe it or not. I had a relaxer growing up from, I want to say, second grade up until I was still in college. I got out of college. My son was born in 2006. I had a relaxer till 2006 when I got a stylist. And she told me I refuse to put a relaxer in your hair. And I'm like, why? Like, my edges are going to get curly. They're like getting fuzzy. She's like, they're fuzzy because you keep putting that crack in it. So fast forward a couple years later, I'm doing my relaxer myself, and my hair literally fell out. I don't know if it was from stress, because I did have a lot going on, or if it was just legit from the chemicals. Whatever it was, it took that crap out. So I've got my hair now, and you walk by people and they're like, your hair, it's so pretty, and reach to put their hands in. And you're thinking, we don't do this to y'all. We don't walk up to you and tell you, oh, let me touch your hair. It's my crowning glory. That's what it is for me. But regardless, we don't do that to you guys. So you're sitting here in the current climate of today, and you can't even wear your hair the way you'd like to. You can't do the things that you enjoy doing because you're looked at and seen as weird or off or too black or not black enough, or you're different than regular black people. I've actually been told that before. Like, literally been told I'm not the same as black people, when I know darn well that I can think of 10 people that are just like me. Just like me. Different shades, but just like me. And it baffles me, because if you put 75 of us in the same room, none of us are the exact same skin complexion. We all get along, but you'll throw one token person of another ethnicity in, and all of a sudden, they're going to be like, oh, you guys look like you could be sisters. So here we come up. We're still a few weeks shy of the election, and I keep saying the current climate is trash. We are now looking at and evaluating the fact that there have been laws and things put into place that don't protect us, don't keep us safe. They tax us more than other individuals. And then you have some of us that are so woke, we don't know what's going on. My vote doesn't matter. My vote doesn't count, people. If you pull the statistics from the last election, only 30% of eligible voters voted. Why did we not vote? We didn't vote because we, quote unquote, didn't like the candidates. Well, guess what? Your not voting made nothing change. Taxes were raised, laws were passed, things that could protect you were not put into place because you opted to not go vote because you didn't like said person running for president, forgetting that the ballot is full of other things that need to be voted on and taken care of. We got a stimulus check this year. Most of you didn't even reinvest it. Spent it on things that we don't need. Talked badly about your friends that put it where it should have gone. And then just totally let stuff go to waste. So in the current climate of today, me as a mama with 2 little black boys, that their future is dependent upon me paying attention to everything that is on the ballot, whether it be this election, next year in January when there's a potential runoff, or even any other, every other month, every other year election. My boys are depending upon me to pay attention and go out, make sure I'm registered, make sure I go and vote, make sure I stand in the polls, make sure I turn in that absentee ballot, because they always say the future is theirs. If it continues down the way that it's going, our kids aren't going to have a future. They're going to get lost off and pushed off, and the things that they need and want aren't going to be acknowledged. The fact that there is no grant money out there for a child, for an organization to help children that are not deemed at risk is a huge issue. The only way our little black boys and little black girls can get the assistance that they need to have the shoe donations, to have the clothing drives, to have the toy drop-offs, is to be deemed at risk. So if you've never paid that any attention, look at it. There are future doctors and lawyers and little ones that need assistance, just that little bit of push to know that they can. Because when they turn on the news, all they're seeing are school teachers riding in the car with their girlfriends and their children being shot. All they're seeing is an entrepreneur minding his business, walking down the street and shot. Standing in the park and shot. Sitting with their girlfriend in a car and shot. Sleeping in their bed and shot. This is what our children are seeing. So no, they're not all at risk. They're not all detrimental to society. It's a handful. Same way it is with any other ethnicity. It's a handful. Even the ones that are from the lower income zip codes, My family collected WIC. Probably could have got food stamps too, but the only reason we didn't was because my dad was in the military. That's the only thing that saved us. Destroyed him. Our kids need to see that there are other avenues for us. And in order for us to give those kids that particular opportunity, a new way on life, a new lease on life, we have to be able to show them who we are and what we can do as adults. We have to band together. It might not be as husband and wife. It might not be as the typical black family. It might just have to be as our village. We might just have to do this together as a whole, as a village, and stop worrying so much about all the other nitpicky things that don't really matter in society. Your shoes don't always matter. Your hair don't always matter. If you bought everything that you have on your body from Walmart, it does not matter. We have to be able to band together to show strength in numbers, because the time is now. It's not tomorrow. It's not next year. It's right now in 2020. It's right now as you're listening to this podcast, whether this is next year and you're recycling a show. It's right now. We cannot wait any longer. We cannot continue to hold off. We have to teach our children that they can be everything that they want and need to be, despite what's going on TV, and we have to protect our families. It's just been, like I said, weighing on my mind with this election coming up, and we're trying to get back into the swing of things with the podcast, and it's been a good run. But yeah, guys, and in life right now, the way that we're seeing and living it, we gotta do something. If you're not registered to vote, please register to vote. They ask you every single paperwork you fill out. Every time you renew your license, they ask you. And if you're like me, regardless if you voted or not, it's been a list of people that they're asking. Are your friends voted? Are you voting? Did your mom vote? They're following up on it. It's the first time, I think, ever that I have gotten so many "Are you registered to vote?" calls that I'm over it. But yeah, it's about that time, guys. Let's make a difference. Let's get these babies set for the future. Let's vote out the people that aren't doing the things that we feel should be done, and let's get some of our people in that can. Doesn't matter their ethnicity. At this particular point in time, we just need somebody different, and we need to change. That's all I gotta say for today's episode. It's your girl, Tori Grace, TORIGR, the number 8CE. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to follow the pod, WCW_podcast. And I'm out.